Top 10 slow motion video games ever. Alright, so to make this list, the slow motion feature has to be a player activated ability. Not like, say, Call of Duty where you breach a door and, you get a little slow motion sequence where you gotta shoot a few guys in the head or whatever. No, this has to be something the player has control over at any time. I'm also excluding games where you pick up an item that causes a slow motion effect, like say Vice City where you pick up a pill and your guy moves in slow motion for like a minute or whatever. But I'll get into some honorable mentions first. And Enter the Matrix barely gets an honorable mention. But the gunplay is kind of sucky. There's some glitches. It's just kind of a flawed game, but there are some really cool slow motion martial art battles you can get into. And that's the only reason it gets an honorable mention. And some really cool kung fu fights. Well, then we have Wolfenstein for the 360. This game might have made the top 10, but unfortunately guns weren't the greatest. There's no shotgun, there's no pistols, there's like 2 submachine guns, a bolt action rifle, and a bunch of like power weapon kind of things. And it's still a fun game. The slow motion effect is pretty cool. Another honorable mention. So Project Snowblind. And this could have made the list too, but it's a rated teen game. I don't know, I think if you're making a first-person shooter, it should be rated mature, I mean, it doesn't have to be super gory, but at least have a little bit of blood mist or something on the enemies when you shoot them, It's like, what the hell am I knocking them out with my bullets, It's like, you shoot them and nothing happens. It's like, hard to believe, I guess. Oh, and here's the last honorable mention, BloodRayne 2. Problem with this game is the gunplay sucked. You had these stupid blood guns. It's just the gunplay wasn't very interesting, but the fighting mechanics were pretty cool. You could do some pretty gory finisher type moves, like stuff you'd see in Mortal Kombat, where you're slashing people's arms off and heads off and all that. So, yeah, it's last honorable mention there. And here's number 10 on the actual list. It's Total Overdose. If you've never heard of this game, it's basically Grand Theft Auto mixed with Max Payne, but set in Mexico. It's almost like Desperado, the game. You can do some pretty neat stuff, like when you're driving a car, you can open the door and you can dive out in slow motion and shoot a couple guys before you hit the ground. You can do some wall running moves. Yeah, there's quite a few weapons you can dual wield. Yeah, it's pretty solid. That's number 10. And here we have Time Shift. A little bit of a unsung game for the 360. Yeah, basically you have this suit that allows you to slow down time, and you can also reverse time, pause time for brief moments. It's pretty sweet. The gunplay is pretty good. They throw in some puzzles in there as well. Yeah, it's a pretty sweet game. If you haven't played it, I'd recommend it. Oh, number 7. Oh, sorry, number 8, I mean. It's Fear 3. Now, Fear 2 could have been here as well. I personally prefer Fear 3. They brought back the dual wielding. It's a more challenging game. Fear 2 was pretty easy, even on hard. And then plus there's the nice co-op mode where you can play as Paxton and Point Man. Only Point Man gets the slow motion ability, but Paxton benefits from it too, so that can be pretty cool. Well, then we have an early title. That's the main reason it makes this list. It's came out shortly after Max Payne, and the reason it gets on the list is the gunplay is pretty decent. There's only slow motion when you dive, like doing a shoot dodge for Max Payne, backwards or side to side, whatever. That's the only time it goes into slow motion. Besides disarms, the disarms are pretty cool. You can switch the camera angle, like in the middle of a disarm. It's almost like you're directing an action scene in a way. But it's kind of cool. But yeah, it's on there because both it is an early title, and it's pretty solid. It has a couple flaws, but I think there's too many mini games, and there's yeah, they could have done all the mini games. They at least trimmed them down quite a bit. Oh, we have the only sports title on this list. It's Blitz League. Yeah, I'm not really not a huge sports fan as far as games go. This game's pretty cool. You can use slow motion for both passing and running. Though passing I haven't really mastered yet. It's kind of weird, but the running is cool. You can like deke a guy and then break off like a 30-yard run. It's pretty sweet. Plus, there's a nice soundtrack on there, so that's also why it gets on the list. Well, it's kind of a sleeper game, I guess. Sleeper mention, I guess. Doom 3, Resurrection of Evil. It's basically the same as Doom 3, but you get this artifact that allows you to go into, they call it Hell Time. Plus you get the super shotgun, but yeah, it's just really cool. You're blowing apart demons in slow motion, and then you watch them dissolve. It's pretty cool. You gotta kind of be conservative with your slow motion a little bit, because you only gain it from harvesting souls from dead bodies, and they're kind of spread. There's plenty in the game, but you still gotta be conservative. Oh, and BloodRayne. And this game, totally solid. It's a lot better than the second one. The gunplay is way better. You actually get real guns, like not blood gun, whatever, fantasy shit. You actually get like Nazi, World War II era Nazi weapons. And it's also nice because you get unlimited slow motion. So you're not like, you don't have to conserve it at all. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. You can dice apart people in slow motion. With a shotgun, you can blow them apart with one shot if you're close enough. Same like grenades and explosive weapons. And, just watch them blow apart in slow motion, and limbs and guts flying everywhere. It's, sounds morbid, but it's pretty cool. Yep, that'd be number 4. And then we have Max Payne 3. I have the 360 version here, but it's also available on PC and PS3, I believe. So, yeah, this has some of the best shooting probably on the 360. And the slow motion effect, they didn't, like the second one, they screwed it up. They made you move in normal motion. Yeah, and even like faster than the enemies. And plus the screen would turn yellow when you activated slow motion. I don't know why the hell they did that. The game Stranglehold did the same thing. And it's just, I don't know why they did it, but this would be number 1, but it's got some flaws. The multiplayer is really unbalanced. I think the game itself, towards the end levels, gets pretty difficult. Yeah, there's a couple flaws holding it back, but it is a really solid game. That's number 3. No, number 2. Fear. I think this game captures the feeling of like being in a John Woo movie. Almost as good as Max Payne, maybe better even, but I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. You got the first-person perspective. You have dual wielding, and then 360 version you get they have a bonus weapon, an SMG, where you can dual wield them. And plus the shotgun's a lot of fun too. You can blow guys in half in slow motion with it. And, plus the story's really cool, and the atmosphere and everything's pretty cool. Yeah, it's definitely one of the best slow motion games out there, but I gotta give it to Max Payne 1. That wasn't the first game to have slow motion. There's a game called Requiem, Avenging Angel. Came out a couple years before this. Well, this is the game that popularized it. I mean, after this came out, you saw a lot of game companies kind of copying it, like Dead to Rights and BloodRayne. Yeah, it definitely popularized the slow motion. And it still holds up pretty well today, depending on what version. I like it I have it on PS2 and Xbox. PS2, the load times are kind of long. And plus the levels are short, so it's like, but on the Xbox, it's speedier loading times. And graphics are a bit better as well. Though I think it controls better on the PS2. I haven't played on PCs. So. But, Yeah, it's number one for nostalgic reasons, and it's just a solid game. Plus, being one of the early, the kind of template for other games to follow. And well, that's that. I just had to say that. Yeah, I think I'm the only person on YouTube that's actually done a video about this. So I thought about doing it, and then I was browsing YouTube, and I noticed no one else had done a video. So I figured, what the hell, I'll be the first one, I guess. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, well, thanks for watching, and I hope you liked it.